Hello everybody. In today's LEGO Star Wars Buildable Figures video, we are looking at Jango Fett, one of the first figures to arrive when the Buildable Figures series was first debuted. And I gotta say, Jango Fett has been a character that hasn't been talked too much, but I'm glad LEGO did a figure on this because that is really good. And yeah, what more can I say? I wasn't really expecting LEGO to do a figure on this character, but they did, and I'm quite impressed with it. And before that, we are gonna obviously look at the box itself. So here is the box. This is set 75107 with 85 pieces. Here's Jango flying on a port on Camino. In the background, though, you can see him fighting Obi-Wan, just like from the scene in Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. That exact thing happening, so that is pretty cool. And we do have an Obi-Wan figure that came out in the same line as this guy. Here's the back of the box. There you go. Here is Kenobi, as I was just talking about. And yes, I've done a review on him. I've basically done a review on all these guys except for Luke, so be sure to check them out, that's for sure. There's that. Alright, so that is the box. Now, I have to get this point. When I first looked at this, I was like, yes, they've done a good job. But then, we take a look at his son, Boba Fett, which LEGO also did a figure on. You can see a massive difference happening going on here. First and foremost, yes, Boba Fett is Jango's son, given the fact that he is the first clone that came out of the cloning facility without any genetic modifications. It was just a pure replica clone. But the first, I want to say that I want to mention I'm baffled over the fact that Boba is more detailed and way more expensive than his father was. Yes, I think their armor is the same time. I don't know, or Boba may have just gotten a new set of armor, but this is the evolution of buildable figures literally shown right here. Jango is basic, has not a lot of pieces, and just a little bit of stuff happening. But then we have Boba with lots of armor and lots of details. He's got this cape as well, feels more heavy, more bulky, and yeah, so not saying it's a bad thing, but glad LEGO did a figure on both of these guys so we can actually see a notable difference. Another notable difference is the quality in the heads. I've said this many times before. LEGO has never failed to impress me to see the quality of their head molds of these figures, to see that you're actually paying a decent price for these guys. Boba Fett is done really well here, but then Jango is like a little bit cartoony, kind of smaller and less detailed, not that impressive. And then his antenna is part of the mold, whereas Boba, the antenna is a separate build that you can attach on him. So looking at these two, you can see a material difference. Obviously, Boba was a lot more expensive, but there you go. You can see from these two, father and son, the notable difference. And notice that Boba is actually taller than Jango, which is a little bit funny in my opinion, but there you go. That's a quick demonstration that obviously most YouTubers can't do because they probably filmed this video the year it came out, which Boba Fett didn't come out, so there you go. So, Jango Fett, despite not as impressive as Boba, he still is pretty impressive. He's got standard legs here. Nah, see, this isn't covered. This is the disappointing part. The entire back leg isn't covered, which LEGO later then fixed with this, as you can see from Boba. And that's the disappointing factor. The other disappointing factor is the jetpack here. There's a big hollow gap going here. That is not cool, and just you can see the torso in there. So I'm glad LEGO learned from this and made improvements, which we later see in the future figures. But you can see they were just getting started here, and it's kind of a disappointment here. The body armor has always been the same. This one is in gunmetal gray. Love that print on there, by the way. And yeah, the arms, pretty standard. Jango's got the harpoon on this wrist, and then he's got his iconic dual pistols, as he is known for. The pistols themselves are, they're okay. I don't really like the blue pin, Technic pin here sticking out. That looks kind of awkward in my opinion. And they're small, but they're appropriate small. And of course, you can take them off and slap them on the side right here. If you don't want Jango to be using them at the moment, then you can just do just that. Hang on, there we go. It's not letting me put it in. Oh, okay, and he fell over. There we go. So if you don't want Jango to be using the pistols at the moment, you can stick them on the side like that, and then you can do like a cowboy stance up where you like whips out the pistol on the rodeo and just, you know, have a Mexican standoff. You can reenact that, I'm pretty sure. And actually, yeah. So I already mentioned the head itself. Pretty disappointing. You know, now that now that I have Boba Fett, and I can see Boba Fett's difference, then I'm a little bit, yeah, I'm not really too much of a fan of the head quality here. So there's that. However, they've covered the shoulders nicely with the number 3 armor pieces. They made sure it was well covered. If only they did that for the middle here, but oh well. They had another number 4 armor piece down here. And as for the jetpack, it has his iconic rocket that he fires from the back, which has a Technic pin or Technic lift on right here. You push that, it's just a flick fire missile as you would see in a normal LEGO set. Here is the missile itself, and what I like about it is that from the rocket, it uses the minifigure cup mold. that is really creative. Yeah, that is really funny. That's actually see, LEGO is being creative, utilizing normal minifigure parts to create their action figures. That's just funny. So overall, what are my impressions of Jango Fett? And well, what can I say? If I looked at this guy back then, not even knowing that later on in the future Boba Fett, his son, would also release as a buildable figure, I would say it's a pretty basic standard figure, but a pretty impressive one. But now that I'm in the future and I'm looking at this, I will say the same thing. He looks pretty basic and standard, but also kind of lackluster and disappointing compared to a figure like Boba Fett and the other figures, especially with the head. The head was the biggest disappointment of all, in my opinion. And I don't know, and the hollowness in the jetpack and the lack of coverage in the legs. There are so many things LEGO missed with this guy. However, they've fixed it all in the future, and that's good. So this was the learning point for them, and I'm glad that they fixed it later on. So I would recommend this guy, but I'm not too satisfied with it. My final grade for this guy would be a 6 out of 10. Actually 5 out of 10. But he's not a bad figure. Don't get me wrong. There are much worse figures out there. This one is definitely not a bad one. I do like the pistols. Not really like the Technic pins on the pistols, but minus those, if you take them out, the pistols look pretty decent. So there's that, and that is Jango Fett. And let me know what you think, if you agree with my points or disagree with what I just said. Your opinions are your opinions. I just stated my opinions here, not being judgmental here. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more. As for now, that is it for this one. And if you want to see the other buildable figures videos, they are all provided throughout the channel, which you can try to find and in the end screen and in the card and everything and all that kind of stuff. So that's it for this one. We'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.